Well, hello there. I'm hesitant on this one. This is a 19 mid-30s, based on the patent number, Gillette gold 3-piece safety razor. It was in the basement of my house when I moved in from the previous owner. And shortly after I switched over from really expensive razors, you didn't hear that, back to shaving with this. Saved me a fortune. I went on to collect antique razors and had a lot of them up until recently. I got rid of them all, but I kept this one. If you remember, I did a video on electroplating a while back. The sole purpose was to electroplate this razor. Now hear me out, they're not worth a ton of money, and the coating has all come off. So this part is, it's a copper, brass, bronze, and this is brass, and it doesn't stay clean, it doesn't stay pretty. I just cleaned it up a little bit before I came out to the garage. So we're gonna get it all cleaned up and we're gonna electroplate it. I'm a little nervous, but I figure it can't really hurt it. I have a brand new modern safety razor and it's horrible. I don't know if it's the angles they changed or what, but I learned to shave with one of these with my dad many years ago, so I really enjoy. And now my son, who's in the Navy, he uses a safety razor like this and gets questioned about it a lot. So anyway, stop jammering, let's get back into electroplating. Okay, I think I've said it before. The most important part of this is that everything is clean, degreased. So I have some acetone, but we're just going to go in with some mineral spirits. I think that'll be plenty strong enough to get what we need. And I got a wire brush here. I just want to get down, especially where the knurling is, and see if I can't make sure that everything is as clean as it can be before we try this. It's kind of like welding. Okay, it's nothing like welding, but it is in so much as the prep is more important than the actual process. Prep, prep, prep. So that's what we're going to do. Another thing I don't really think I looked into is how long. I made the nickel solution when we did that other video, but that was a long time ago. I don't know how long I can't imagine it expires. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. Move on to this guy. Don't want to go cheap on the degreasing there. I'm using a softer wire brush to get in the little nooks and crannies, because I think that if anything, that's going to be the failure point. Again, these razors are a great thing to collect because they're not really that expensive. I passed mine on to a young man who enjoyed it just as much as I did. I didn't think I'd ever find somebody who was that much into razors. And ironically, both of us have beards. But anyway, he was really happy to get them. And there were some specialty ones in there, but I'm a simple man. I like the simple things. 3-piece, none of that fancy adjusting stuff. You just set it and shave. Blades are dirt cheap. It started when I went to Costco with my wife and I went to grab the pack of, those 5-10 blades on one disposable razor and realized how much they cost. I hadn't shopped for them myself in quite a while. And I was like, nope. And then I remembered this was kicking around in the basement from whence we moved in. Sorry about that. I'm trying to zoom in more so you can see what I'm doing. And instead I'm just doing everything over here. But the intention is good. Let's let those dry for a little bit while we set up. If you remember, here I'll show you, I put together this little box with all my electroplating stuff in it. So we'll get that set up and move on. Okay, we've got the first part. I put the one that was easiest to hook up, and we've got that in there. We've got our nickel rod. I've got this set for 6.5 volts, which should be plenty. We're gonna plug her in, and she's bubbling away. I am gonna have to rotate it as we go to make sure the nickel gets everywhere, and it shouldn't take very long. What I'll do is, when it's done, I'll take it out and I will dry it off, and then before we're done, I'll run it through a second time. I'm turning it so the nickel can get on the under portion. I don't know how well you can see the bubbling. I'll probably show you that later. But for right now, I just want to get this good and coated. One thing you don't want to do is short the two together. That doesn't do your power supply any good. Boy, I think it's working pretty well. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and unplug it. And it's definitely nickel plated. I think a second coat after we clean it up will be in order. So without further ado, we're just going to move right on and hook up the next one. I'm going to get some wire prepped for it, so hang on. Okay, you can see her bubbling up there. I have this one suspended out a little bit on the dowel as the insulator, so it should get a little more even coverage, I think, that way. And again, I'll rotate it here once I put the camera down. Yeah, that didn't hold up. My procedure probably needs a little fine tuning, I guess, but yeah, I'll rotate it here and then we'll pull it out in a minute or two and get part number 3 coated. Okay, I wanted you to see. Again, it's the first coat, and I do think I am going to do 2 or 3 passes on each part. And part number 3 in for its first pass. I do have to put the camera down, and this one I'm going to have to rotate. Oh, I can't get it good, but I want the flat piece facing the nickel on the other side too, so I'm going to have to rotate it. And I'm not going to try and do that while holding the camera. Okay, I wanted to show you it. First off, nickel plating does not do anything for all those little scrapes and grooves. It doesn't fill them in or anything. So that's not the purpose. I could have polished those out, I suppose. But, you know, if you can see right down in there, it hasn't really taken much of the plating. So we're going to hook this one back up, and we're going to go for our second dunk. And just to bore you completely, this is pass number 2. You can see we got the underside of that part facing our nickel rod, so I think it's doing a much better job. I kind of hate to see this, honestly, become a nickel plated, but it gets so gross because the copper and the brass and then the gold leaf that didn't stay on it. And again, this is obviously not every day. I don't shave that often, but as often as I shave, I use this thing. So I want it to be the best it can be. Okay, I wanted to show you something that you see how that gets a lot of bubbles built up on it. Giving it a light shake and displacing those bubbles will actually help in the final plating. You don't want to shake it to the point of dropping the piece, but you just want to keep the bubbles moving. Again, close, but never touching. Okay, on the third and final pass, I hooked up each piece a little differently so that anywhere the wire was, hopefully could get coated under where it was blocking. So I think what we're looking pretty good. This is triple nickel plated. Woo! And as soon as that one comes out, we'll put it back together and get you on out of here. All right, y'all. First off, I want to show you my nickel rod. I'll clean it up before the next use, but this thing's going to last my grandson's lifetime. Each piece has been, I guess, triple plated. I don't know if that is really what it does, and it came out better than I could have expected. Again, did I ruin the historical value of it? I don't know, but it's going to be a lot better as far as sanitary. We'll see. I'm going to take it with me on my road trip, throw it in my bag, and use it and see how it holds up. Because the nickel plating will wear off, just like the gold leaf plating did. But I think it doesn't look bad aesthetically, and it is going to be a lot more sanitary and hopefully easier to keep clean. So I guess that's it. Again, I wipe it up. I bought 100 blades. I just bought new ones recently for $9. That's going to last me, who doesn't shave a whole lot, a long time. So have you played with nickel plating yet? And have you ever, or did you, or do you use an old-fashioned safety razor still? Old-fashioned, it seems weird to call it that when, again, that's what my dad put in my hand and taught me to shave with. But anyway, let me know. I'm curious. Thanks for coming here and for sticking around. I don't know if this was exciting or not, but I had fun. So we'll see you on the next one.